This concerns something else. And the answer is you can't do anything. You can't do anything unless you are ready to confront and address three facts. Number one, the first truth, there is no such thing as radical Islam. If I read and follow chapter and verse of the book Biochemistry by Leninger, do I become a radical scientist? And every single time the apologists cringe at violence or retribution being ordered, they bring out the excuse or context or interpretation in order to hide the true meaning. In fact, it is the Muslims who are Islamophobic. That is, they fear Islam. They fear to bring out the orders and the commandments of their holy book in its entirety on Jews, Christians, polytheists, homosexuality, apostasy, heresy, dress code, wife beating, blasphemy, because they fear being called illiberal and hypocrites. So they end up condemning and branding as radicals the Muslims who are faithfully following the fundamentals. In a sense, they snare the fundamentalists but spare the fundamentals. Look, what is the essence of azan amplified through the loudspeaker 5 times a day? Quote, no one has the right to be worshipped but Allah 40:62. You would have called this radical and supremacist if you didn't know this is from the holy book. Do not take disbelievers as friends unless they convert and kill them if they refuse. 489. Those who deny the Quran, their necks will be shackled. 4070. Polytheists are the worst of creatures. 98:6. Do not marry polytheist women unless they convert. 2221. Those who disbelieve in our verses, we will drive them into a fire. 456. Are these not radical enough for you? Number two, the second truth. Terrorism has a religion. When Pahalgam terrorists demand a recitation of Islamic kalma, check the ID cards of tourists, pull down trousers to confirm the condemn only kafirs. Terrorism has a religion. When Kashmiri Hindus are butchered, driven out, terrorism has a religion. When in Nadimag, 23 unsuspecting Kashmiri Hindus are lined up and shot point blank, terrorism has a religion. When 2611 Taj Hotel guests are spared if they recite the kalma, terrorism has a religion. When slogans raised from mosques, Ralif, Salif, Dalif, death to kafir, Nizam-e-Mustafa are made to drive away only Hindus, terrorism has a religion. When millions attend funerals of terrorists, when ISIS flags are unfurled in Jamia Masjid, terrorism has a religion. Number three, the third truth. Different laws divide, not unite. Let's accept it. There is a parallel world that is inhabited by millions of Muslims, a world where they are not bound by rules, morality, ethics, propriety, by which the rest of us are bound by. Because their morality, ethics, conduct is not dictated by man but by God. Not for nothing did Dr. Ambedkar say, quote, Islam is incompatible with local self-government because the allegiance of a Muslim does not rest on his domicile in the country which is his but on the faith to which he belongs, unquote. And we have accepted it. Let's accept it. When you accept religions that exhibit predatory, supremacist, exclusivist views and practices, when you grant separate laws and freedoms to their followers, you are sowing the seeds of irreversible division. You are turning appeasement from welfare to wokefare to warfare. So you have blatantly anti-Hindus laws like the POW, RTE, Endowment Acts. You have blatantly pro-Muslim laws like the Waqf Act. You have terrorists, PFI, cadres and rioters being released. And that is when you reach a situation where you are scared as a nation. Because if development and prosperity brought peace, Middle East would be like Dubai. But is it? So there we have it. As long as we are afraid to confront these three truths, you can't do anything.
You can't do anything, sir.